Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you couldn't tell, I did change my name. It used to be Vintage Cooking Corner and now it is Hinterberg Homestead. I might just change it again because I'm really trying to focus more on gardening. But anyway, today I thought I would just give you kind of an end of July garden tour. It is so hot outside. It's 80 something. I think it's gonna be 90, and it also is 80% humidity. So my hair, I straightened it in the house, and while I was still in the house, it started getting curly. So it's not fun outside, but let's head out there and I will show you how everything is growing, some new things that we did, and some of my plans heading into fall. I do have a microphone on, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So I'm gonna start on this side here. This is the, let's see, east side of our house. And you guys, this is one plant. Isn't that crazy? This is called a Supertunia Vista White. And yeah, one plant gets that huge. I have another one tucked in behind here that's just starting to grow. I'm interested to see how it's going to do the rest of the season. I don't think it's going to get this big. I actually have a baby gem boxwood tucked in behind here that's just getting kind of crowded out. Anya, there's a bee, watch out. Okay, so then this right here, I'm kind of standing in the sun here. This is called a coral bell. And I have one right over here that actually has these like stalks. Ignore all these weeds. I need to get rid of the weeds and we need to remulch, so I apologize. You're gonna see tons of weeds. But yeah, so they have these flowers that kind of grow up from it. And this one for some reason doesn't have them yet, but that's okay. This is a container that I put together. I have Dusty Miller, a spike plant. This is sweet potato vine, and okay, and then these are, oh man, they're slipping my mind. These are begonias, so just some white begonias, and I just think that they're really pretty. It's actually a shade plant, but right now it's about 10 a.m., so it is in the sun, but as the day continues, it will be in the shade. Moving along this way, so I ended up removing so many weeds here. Ignore all of that. This is the plant that we want to focus on. This is called a barberry, and I picked it up because I loved this orangey red kind of burnt, well, it's really not orange, kind of burnt red, whatever you want to call that color. I thought that it looked perfect for fall. I'm actually getting some greenery in here, I think because it's been so hot. But yeah, I just wanted some like structure here, and I have a rock. I'll show you where we got those rocks. But so that is the barberry. Moving over here, I have more weeds and also a hosta. This is the only hosta that survived, and it's doing okay. This is another Supertunia Vista White. Not as big as the other one because this one, as you can tell now, we're in shade because there is a big tree right here that shades, and this house. And yeah, so this one is not as big, but it's still really pretty. I've got a boxwood, baby gem, and then this is my hydrangea. So as you can see, I had to move it because the spot that it was in, it was getting completely scorched. Some of these leaves are okay, but on the top here, they're just scorched. And since I moved it over here, this one grew, and I mean, you can tell it was not happy with its spot before in full sun, and this is in shade, and it loves it so much more. I have heard Laura from Garden Answers, she recommends putting hydrangeas in full sun, but I don't think I'm gonna do that here. I don't know if it's just our... Are you copying me?
You copying me?
So yeah, so this is moved to shade. This is another, what is this called? This is Super Bell's Chiffon Yellow, and they kind of have these double blooms. She's copying everything I say. And then I have another baby boxwood. This is a osteospermus, which is kind of, it needs to be deadheaded. And I've got some blooms up here that are going to pop, but yeah, every so often there are blooms that come on here. I have another one that has a couple, but right now this one looks like it's kind of on its way out. But the leaves still look healthy, so I don't think it's an issue with lighting. I think it's just been our hot temps with high humidity. I don't know, everything's kind of been suffering. This is my Carl Forester grass. This one did not get as big as the other one on the other side, but it's still doing good. I love this color, perfect for fall. I think come fall, I'm probably gonna cut these off and use them as decoration. Lemon coral sedum. These are doing pretty good. When I planted this one and that one, they actually had like no roots because I took them out of a pot and I lost a lot of the roots and I thought they were just gonna die, but it's been doing good. This is my dianthus, and as you can see, we've got one here, but they're kind of just dying out. I need to deadhead this, but I mean, there's bulbs forming. Ignore my nail polish. So yeah, I mean, this plant, I had it in a pot back in April, and I remember it even snowed, and this plant had snow on it, so this plant has seen all of the seasons so far. Moving down the lane, I have this is my salvia. And it probably should be cut back too. I just haven't done it yet because there's been a ton of bees over here and I'm kind of afraid of bees, so I need to come out like in the evening sometime and do it. Here is another Super Bells double chiffon, yellow. There is another salvia. All right, now I'm gonna show you my Outlast rose, or not Outlast, my Oh So Easy rose. It's looking very, very sad, very dead, very sad. However, if you look closely, I do have some buds that are forming, and I mean, there are still flowers coming out of this. I've learned with roses that they have 2 bloom seasons. They kind of bloom right away, and then they look like they're dead, and then they come back. And this Oh So Easy rose, you don't have to deadhead. I did a couple times, but then I learned that the spent bulbs, or the spent, what are they called, buds, actually end up turning red, and they're called rose hips. So I think I'm gonna leave them because I want them to turn colors, because then that'll be perfect for fall. Over here I have a massive white angelonia, and they've kind of toppled over. I don't know what happened, but they're kind of the star of the show over here because they're just huge. Here is that other osteospermum with a couple blooms. I have another salvia. And then this is the spot that I had my hydrangea in that it just got scorched in. I ended up putting a coral bells there, which is getting scorched too, so I just need to remove that and probably plant some type of, I don't know, evergreen, maybe structure instead of these, or maybe even a, I think the super petunias would do really well there. Lavender. Then moving over to this side, I have my cabbage. I don't know if you remember what this looked like when I planted it, but it was not this big at all. Something interesting about this is that there have been a lot of bees, and specifically wasps, that have been kind of in here, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's normal. I might have to do some more research. And then right behind it, I have another Carl Forester, which actually reseeded itself because I have a brand new plant growing right behind this cabbage kale plant. And this is just kind of crazy. It looks like marshland over here, but yeah, super funny. It just reseeded itself. I don't know, maybe I'll try to reseed it, pull off some of these seeds in the backyard. Who knows? I have another salvia plant kind of tucked in right behind here. This, what is it called? Mum? I think it's just a mum. What are these called? I'll try to throw the name up on the screen. I cannot think of what they're called right now. But yeah, this plant just got huge. I think this was 2 little tiny dinky plants that just kind of took over. I've got new ones growing back there, but it's just massive. And then in the back, also need to get some deadheading done. It's just been too hot, and the bees, I just don't want to deal with them. These are the banana cream some things. I will find the names of these and put them on the screen. That's what those are. This is my sedum plant, which is doing great. Sedums do not like fertilizer, and I forgot that when I planted it, and I put a ton of fertilizer in here, but it still did just fine. These moths are doing crazy over here. And then this over here is my lilac tree, which is doing great. These green leaves are so beautiful.
2 flowers.
Yeah.
2 butterflies.
Yeah, those are moths. They're pretty though. They look like butterflies. We'll just call them butterflies. So this is my lilac tree, and if you see on here, there are some buds. Super excited. I don't think I'm gonna see any color this year, but I'm not sure what it's gonna do in spring. I have to look and see if I need to cut it back or if I just let it go, and hopefully in spring I get some beautiful lilac smelling flowers. That would be awesome. And then I have another one of those plants that I cannot remember the name of. And then this back here is a disaster. I have a lavender plant. You can see the purple. However, there are things growing. I don't know what these are. There's some white flowers over here. No clue what those are. I need to just pull all of those out end of this year. Probably not going to get to it this year, but yeah. Okay, and then the saddest of them all is this window box. Oh, it's dead. It is dead. It's time to change it up. I am going back and forth on waiting until like end of August to just plant this with fall stuff, or if I should just go and get some end of summer things. Our growing season here is so short in Wisconsin. It's terrible. We have about 2 months left of summer, and then it's going to be full on fall, snowing winter. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is probably just clean it out and just leave it empty until I get some fall stuff in here. But I really love how these vines have grown. They're so long. I love that look. I think it's really pretty, but obviously this is a hot mess, so yeah. All right, let's go in the backyard and I will show you some of the things that we have done. Thing that we did, we added this fire pit. Isn't that awesome? So basically what we did is we just kind of planned out a circle that fit the fire pit, and James actually sprayed some grass killer. We didn't like properly remove the grass or anything. You can even see some grass coming up, which is fine. And then we got these paving stones to make the circle around, and then just added gravel. And we've already had about 2 or 3 fires out here, so it's been awesome. It's been so nice roasting marshmallows, just having, you know, time around the fire. I just love it. Okay, and then the next biggest thing that we did was we ended up taking out a bunch of grass from here all the way up to our house, and we added this rain barrel. I'll show you that in a minute. And I ended up planting, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 winter gem, what are they called? No, winter green boxwoods. And these get about 4 to 5 feet tall. So I thought that would be perfect as a privacy hedge because the fence here is just chain link. So you just see right through it to the road. And I thought that, you know, eventually, probably in about 10 years time, because these grow pretty slow, you'll have just a nice hedge kind of hiding this fence. And it's just a little bit more privacy because that is, you know, a main road right there. Well, it is a side street. Main road is right there. Maybe someday we'll do one on the other side. Not sure how long we'll be here, but yeah, so I'm super happy with how this turned out, this hedge. I just love it so much. And then it leads right up to our new rain barrel, which James installed. And so this is a rain barrel from Menards. I will link it down below. I believe Menards ships everywhere. I'm not sure. But yeah, so basically what it does is the water comes down, it goes into the rain barrel. This is a 55-gallon bucket. And then it has a little spigot right here that you can turn off and on. And we actually, well, I shouldn't say we, James, hooked up a hose that goes all the way in between, I think it's in between these two right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in between these two, there is a bucket that's in the ground. James put gravel around it so it doesn't have issues with freezing. And this hose goes into the bucket because, you know, if you have a normal drain, the drain is going to take the water kind of out to the middle of the yard. But we don't have that with the rain barrel. So if you just, you know, undid the spigot, the water is all going to come there. It's going to seep down. It's going to get into your basement. Not good. So James' idea was putting a hose all the way out into basically the middle of the yard, and we don't have to worry about that. And then I ended up planting up the top of this, which this is a planter, so the instructions said I was able to do this. I didn't just come up with it. It is set to be a planter, and I ended up getting some of these sweet potato vines. This was actually, the last video that I posted was planting this up, and this was a hanging basket that I just deconstructed and put in here. Ideally, I wanted the vines to kind of do what this one is doing and kind of trail over the side. I thought that would be really cool, but I don't know if they're going to do that. We'll see what I do come fall, you know, when I take these out. If I want to plant this up for fall too, I think that might look really pretty. Another thing that I want to do on this side here is I'm going to get tulip bulbs, and I'm going to be planting those in October. I'll try to remember to film that. And I thought that it would look really pretty with a bunch of tulips just up here in the spring, and maybe some daffodils. I just think that would look awesome. So then the reason that we have all of this dirt here is because there were some low spots in our yard. Our yard is very bumpy. So James just ended up taking some of the soil from the, taking the grass out of there and just kind of put it in these spots here so that, you know, eventually we probably need to get some grass seed to fill this in, but I don't know. That's a question for James. I don't know if grass will just kind of appear on its own or what the situation is there. And then the last thing that I'll show you today before we end the video is this little section over here. This is my start of my vegetable garden. It's sad. I have visions in my mind of what this is going to look like eventually if we are still living here, but right now this is what I have. We have our compost bin, which we have put so much stuff in there, and it just amazes me how it all composts down. I guess that's what the point of it is, because nothing has ever kind of flowed. Yeah, it's just been great. James puts the grass clippings in there, and it's been really good. I've got some of my junk sitting here. Grass needs to be cut. But yeah, so we just used more of the pavers kind of around here. We obviously need to get more. And then I have these spiky plants, that same plant that I have in the pot. They actually prefer full sun. And then I have a Supertunia yellow. I think that's what they're called. I'll try to find out for sure. And I just repeated it. And ideally, that's what I would continue doing. But you know what? Didn't happen this year. And then, so in this pot, I have to remember what I have. In this one, I believe I have zucchini, which we'll see what happens. I have zucchini seeds. And then in this bigger pot, I've got, in this smaller pot, we have beets. Beets, yes. And I think I put a little thing of spinach in the middle. So we'll see if we get any green growth. Beets, spinach, and zucchini in this one. And zucchini, all of this, I believe I can start harvesting it like end of September. So hopefully we'll get some good veggies out of that. And then this is my mint plant. It's looking pretty sad. And then I've got my basil plant, rosemary, and my onions back there. If you remember, I started these from seed, and this is what they look like right now. I guess onions are, once these start turning yellow, like this one over here is already turning yellow. Yeah.
I'm really cold.
You're really hot.
I'm really cold.
No, I think you're hot. It's like 90 degrees out. I don't think you're cold, but we'll go inside in a minute. We'll figure out when those are supposed to be harvested, but all right, I think that's time to go inside. It's pretty hot out here. She's getting hot. All right, back inside. Sweaty mess right now. My hair actually didn't get as, covered the microphone, as wavy as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, this end of July garden tour, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.